Sayadaw, we would like to invite Sayadaw to kindly start the Dharma talk now.
Okay, good evening. Tonight we will continue our Dharma talk. The name is How to Practice Dependent Origination. Before we start our Dhamma talk, let's pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Arahato Tathangaya Kilita Yanduruma Kendo Muddhapa Vithato. Arahato Tathangaya Kilita Yanduruku Andomu Nandomu Tato Muddhapa Vithato. Arahato Lumena Men Vyamamendo E Ludam Boya Byasi Libya Nindabwa Ayode Byujen Ale Abya Byujen Miwajen Singajen Ango Ata Byujen Logo Kando Muddhapa Vithato. Arahato Sigwaya Yanai Ko Amuya No Amuya Say Muya Rupshin Makamu Mandamya Go Byudo Mamu Dapa Vithato Byodo Mamu Dapa Vithato Chansiro Mamu Dapa Vithato Bhagavato Indriya Dhamma Yata Diri Kama Vyadam Yidwen Bondo Chaulin Byezondo Muddhapa Vithato Samma Sambuddhassa Dukkha Sajja Samudaya Sajja Megha Sajja Nirodha Sajja Uswato Sajja Leva Dogo Kurodana Lento Twin Yui Dimyendo Muddhapa Vithato Tata Dari Sasa Logranda Le Mundai Wile Mayu Maya Injausa Daingedo Kain Kando Dari Konen Li Biezono Muddhapa Vithato Do Bono Chauban the Ken Dajin Yumyaswa Pia Amagandia Ho Bago Diana Bago Chicha Gondo Yona Napianga Kanda Go Duna Damo Ajano Dua Namo Tia Ho Tiana Biyan Kwa Yue Andere Ginjin Holo Do Tiado Mie Arahata Go Bao Adia Sondo Yakpazi Jin Ajuma Kono Nalong Doma Byong Pyo Mangolio Yue Romiano Lasomo Yue Shiko Man Shok Gado Jendi Atu Bawadu Sense Madwe Piba Zedadi Nyaswa Paya Sandu Sandu Sandu. Okay, in our previous Dhamma talk, we discussed how to discern mentality, nama, and materiality, rupa. If you are able to discern mentality and materiality in the way described, you will also be able to discern their causes. This means discerning dependent origination, paticca samuppada. Dependent origination is about how cause and effects operate over the 3 periods of past, present, and future. The Buddha has reminded Ananda that we have to undergo the round of rebirth, life after life, because they do not understand properly and penetratively the causal relation of dependent origination. Also, in Visuddhimagga and Abhidhamma commentary, it is clearly stated that there is no one, even in a dream, who has escaped from the realm of rebirth without the ability to break through the Parichasmupada, cause the relations of the samsara, matching with his wisdom swap, which has sharpened on the west tone of concentration. Thus, the causal relations of Paticcasamuppada must be discerned with the insight wisdom to clarify all doubt and straighten all wrong views. Because of this reason, the meditator who has discerned defines materially and mentally both internally in himself and externally in others must discern the cause that gives rise to mentality and materiality. Otherwise, doubt and wrong views may arise in him. He may think that the powerful God created them, or there are no cause which produce them. The Buddha taught 4 methods to discern dependent origination according to the character of his listeners, and there is a 5th method taught by Venerable Sariputta recorded in the Patisambhidamagga. It would take some time to explain the many methods in detail, so we shall look at only the 2 methods we teach most often to yogi at the Phao Doya Meditation Center. They are what we call the Venerable Sariputra's 5th method, and then what we call the 1st method taught by the Buddha in the Mahanidana Sutta of Digha Nikaya and Nidana Vagga of Sanyutta Nikaya. Both methods involve discerning the 5 aggregate Pinchakkhana of the present, the past, and the future, discerning which of them is cause and which is effect. While you can do this, you can also learn how to discern dependent origination in the other ways taught in the sutta and commentaries. Okay, now to clear understanding, I want to explain with you with the PowerPoint. Now, in order to realize Nibbana, we should understand the 4 Noble Truths. The first Noble Truth is called the Noble Truth of Safari, Dukkha Satcha. The second Noble Truth is called Samudaya Satcha. The third Noble Truth is called Nirodha Satcha. Nirodha Satcha. The 4th Noble Truth is called Magga Satcha. Dukkha Satcha, Samudaya Satcha, Nirodha Satcha. The Noble Truth of cessation of suffering. The Noble Truth of leading to the cessation of suffering. The 4 Noble Truths. Okay, at the beginning, Dhamma talk, I have already explained 2 types of meditation. Okay, I will repeat briefly again, Samatha and Vipassana. For the Samatha meditation subject, I have already mentioned in previous Dhamma talk. After that, the Vipassana meditation. For the Samatha meditation, we start to teach Anapana, 232 part of the body, and Kasina meditation, until full protection meditation. After that, we teach the 4 elements meditation. After that, last Dhamma talk, I have already explained about Nama Rupa meditation. So, in order to understand the Noble Truth of suffering, we need to practice Nama Rupa meditation, mentality and materiality meditation. And also, in order to purify our view, we need to practice Nama Rupa meditation also. After that, we need to practice dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada. These are the second knowledge of Vipassana meditation. Nama Rupa meditation is the first knowledge of Vipassana meditation. Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination, is second knowledge of Vipassana meditation. In order to understand the Noble Truth of suffering, the Dukkha Satcha, Samudaya Satcha, the Noble Truth of origin of suffering, Samudaya Satcha. These two are the object of Vipassana meditation. After that, you can continue another Vipassana meditation. So, after understanding Nama Rupa and dependent origination, you can continue the other Vipassana meditation. You can contemplate the arising period and Nama Rupa and their causes. The impermanence nature, suffering nature, non-self nature of mentality and mentality, materiality and their causes. So, in Samatha meditation, there are 40 Samatha meditation subjects. In Vipassana meditation, there are only 2 objects, Nama and Rupa. So, because of this, firstly, we need to understand mentality, materiality, and their causes. After that, you can contemplate impermanence nature, suffering nature, non-self nature of mentality, materiality, and their causes. By this way, you need to develop your wisdom knowledges. There are 16 knowledges of Vipassana meditation. So, in order to realize Nibbana at the beginning, we need to start to practice mentality and materiality. After that, you need to practice the Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination. Okay, dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada, the fifth method. Dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada, consists of 12 factors. They can be said to comprise 3 rounds water, 2 rounds of 5 causes, and 1 round of 5 results. 2 rounds of 5 causes mean, number 1, kilesa vata, defilements rounds, avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, clinging. These 3 are called kilesa vata, defilements rounds. Kama vata, the kama round, sankhara, volitional formation, kama bhava, kama process existence. 2 rounds of 5 causes, 1 round of 5 results. 1 round of 5 results mean vipaka vata, the results rounds, vijnana, consciousness, nama rupa, mentality, materiality, salayana, 6 sense bases, phasa, contact, vedana, feelings. These 5 are called the result round, vipaka vata. In the daily chanting, you may know Vijja Pichya Sankhara, Sankhara Pichya Vijnana, Vijnana Pichya Nama Rupa. These are the dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada. Okay, now you already know 2 rounds of 5 causes and 1 round of 5 results. This dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada, not only reciting in the chanting time. But also, if you want to really understand the noble truth of origin or suffering, Paticca Samuppada, we should try to practice to understand by our direct own knowledge. If you really want to attain Nibbana, you should understand this dependent origination by theory and practically. Now the Buddha also already remind to Vanadeva Ananda, if we want to realize Nibbana, if we want to free from the samsara, we should understand this dependent origination, Paticca Samuppada. Here, in this 12 factor of the Paticca Samuppada, the 5 elements wrong and the karma wrongs. The defilement wrong is the cause for the karma wrong, which is the cause for the result wrong, which is, in other words, birth, agents, and death. The 11 factor and 12 phase factors. The discernment of dependent origination involves seeing this sequence of wrongs and start with discernment of the past. How to discern your past? To discern the past, you begin by making an offering of either candle, flowers, or incense at a pagoda or to a Buddha image. You should make a wish for the rebirth you desire, for example, to become a monk, nun, man, woman, or deva. Afterwards, you should go and sit in meditation and enter the fourth Anapana or Vaikasina jhana, until the light is bright, brilliant, and radiance. After that, discern internal and external mentality and materiality, Namarupa, again and again. In previous Dhamma talk, we have already explained about Nama and Rupa. When you discern Nama and Rupa, mentality and materiality, not only discern internally, you need to discern externally, internally and externally, again and again. Buddha also explained in the Mahasipana Sutta, you need to practice the 5 aggregate, Nama and Rupa, internally and externally. Iti ijatangwa kaye kaya nupasi viharati, vedawa kaye kaya nupasi viharati. Buddha already explained in the Mahasipana Sutta. Because of this reason, before we practice Paticca Samuppada, dependent origination, firstly, we should discern Nama and Rupa internally and externally again and again. This is necessary because if you cannot discern external mentality and materiality, you will have great difficulty discern the past mentality and materiality. That is because the discernment of past mentality and materiality is similar to the discernment of external mentality and materiality. Then you should discern the mentality and materiality that occur when you make the offering at the pagoda or Buddha image as if they were external objects. When doing this, the image of yourself at the time of offering will appear. You should discern the 4 elements in that image. Okay, to practice 4 elements meditation already mentioned in the Rupa meditation. When you practice Rupa meditation, you need to discern 6 to 42 parts of the body, internally and externally. When you already skillful, okay, you may see the Rupa Kalapa after discerning the 4 elements meditation. When the image breaks into Rupa Kalapas, discern all the different types of maturity of the system, especially the 63 types of maturity of the heart base. You will then be able to discern the Bhoyanga consciousness and the many mental processes that arise in between. Okay, these the Nama meditation also, you must be skillful in the Nama meditation in the stages. If you are not skillful in this stage, when you practice dependent origination, you may not easily do successfully. Because of this, before we practice dependent origination, firstly, you need to understand, to discern Nama and Rupa clearly, internally and externally. You should look among those many mental processes, searching backward and forwards until you find the defilements wrong, kilesa vada. Mental process with 20 mental formation in each impulsion consciousness moment, and the karma wrong, karma vada, mental process, nodwara viti, with 34 mental formation in each impulsion consciousness moments. Okay, this explanation are related with Abhidhamma uses. So if you understand already Abhidhamma, you may more easily to understand. But now for the knowledge only, you just try to listen. When you practice the Parichasmupada in this stage, you may understand more clearly. Okay, now I will explain with another example. The cause of making an offerings of candle, flower, or incense to a Buddha image and making a wish to be reborn as a man. In this case, ignorance is to deliberately think that a man truly exists. Craving is the desire and longing for life as a monk, and clinging is the attachment to life as a monk. These three, ignorance, craving, and clinging, are all found in the consciousness that make up the defilements wrong, kilesa vada. For the woman, if you had instead made a wish to be reborn as a woman, then ignorance would be to deliberately thinking that a woman truly exists. Craving will be the desires and longing for life as a woman, and clinging will be the attachment to life as woman. In the examples, volitional formation, sankhara are the wholesome volition, kusala chetana of the offering, and the karma is their karma potency. Both are found in the consciousness that make up the karma wrong, karma vada of dependent origination. When you are thus able to discern the mentality and materiality of defilements wrongs and karma wrong of the recent past, you should go back to the more distant past, to some time previous to offering, and in the same way, discern the mentality and materiality. Then go back a little further again and repeat the process. In this way, you discern the mentality and materiality of 1 day ago, 1 week ago, 1 month ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and so on. Eventually, you will be able to discern right path to the mentality material of the Ripa linking consciousness, Patichandisita, that arose at the conception of your present lives. When looking for the cause of conception, you go back even further and see either mentality and materiality or the time near death in your previous lives, or the objects of near-death impulsions consciousness, Marana Sanda Chavana Chita. There are 3 possible objects for the nearly dead impulsions consciousness. Number 1, karma. Karma means the mental formations of karma you perform earlier in this life or previous life. For example, you may recollect the hatred associated with the slaughtering animals, happiness associated with offering food to monk bhikkhus, or tranquility associated with meditation. Kama, Kama Nimitta, and Gati Nimitta. Kama Nimitta, Kama sign means an image associated with the Kama you performed earlier in this life or previous lives. A butchers may see a butcher's knife or hear the scream of animals about to be slaughtered. A doctor may see patients, a devotees of the traditions may see a bhikkhu, a pagoda, a Buddha image, flowers and objects of us. And a meditator may see the Pratibhaga Nimitta of the meditation subjects. Kamma, Kamma Nimitta, Gati Nimitta. Gati Nimitta, destination sign. Destination sign means a vision of your destination where you are about to be reborn. For rebirth in hell, you may see fire for a human. Your future mother soon, usually like a red carpet. For an animal rebirth, forest or fish. For the Deva rebirth, Deva mansions. This is called destination sign, Gati Nimitta. The object appears because of karma potencies that produce the rebirth linking consciousness, Patichandi Seta. When you discern this, you will be able to discern also evolutionary formation and karma that produce the resultant vipaka, aggregates of these lives, and the precedent, ignorance, craving, and clinging. And you will discern also the other mental formations of that karma round and defilements rounds. Okay, I will explain another example. To make this clearer, let us give the example of what one yogi was able to discern. Once she discerned the mentality, materiality at the time near death, she saw the karma of a woman offering fruit to a bhikkhu's monk, Buddhist monk. Then, beginning with the 4 elements, she examined further the mentality, materiality of that woman. She found that the woman was very poor and uneducated villager who had reflected on her state of suffering and had made an offering to the monk with a wish for life as an educated woman in a large town. In this case, dilutively thinking that an educated woman in a large town truly exists is ignorant avijja. The desires and longing for life as an educated woman is craving tanha. The attachment to life as an educated woman is clinging upadana. The wholesome act of offering fruit to a Buddhist man is evolutionary formation. Sankhara and the karma is their karma potency. In this life, the yogi is an educated woman in a large town in Myanmar. She was able with the right views to discern thoroughly how the karma potency of offering fruit in her past life produce the resultant by aggregate of this life. The ability to discern cause and effects in this way is called cause apprehending knowledges, paticca samuppada jnana. Avijja, tanha, upadana, sankhara, karma. Avijja, nama rupa, tanha, nama rupa. 20 mandapata. Upadana, nama rupa. Sankhara, nama rupa. If you are associated with the wisdom, knowledge, and the joint piti in the sankhara, karma, nama rupa, there are 34 mandapata. Avijja, tanha, upadana, there are 20 mandapata. In the Jawana Chitta. I have already mentioned 2 rounds of 5 causes and 1 round of 5 results. So, Avijjadana, Upadana, Sankhara, Kamma. These are called 2 rounds of 5 causes. The result round, Vipaka Vata. Vipaka Vata inside the motherhood. Consciousness, Vijnana, Namarupa, Salayarana, Phasa, Vedana. Consciousness, mentality, melody, sense, contact, feeling, contact, Phasa, feeling, Vedana. The 5 causes are in previous life. These 5 results are in present life. Because of cause, here affairs arise. Present good and bad results are related with the past life, previous lives. According to your expression, related with your karma formation, in present, 5 aggregate arise. We need to understand in the dependent origination. To understand clearly, you can see this chart. Here you can see that's the previous lives, that's present lives. Previous lives mean Marana Chanda Viti, final consciousness of nearly dead process. Here object Aramana, near dead object Karma, Karma sign, destination sign. Consciousness Chitta, first Javana, second, third, fourth, fifth Javana. After that, the Suti. After Chuti, here you can see Patisandi, Ripa, linking consciousness, Patisandi, Sita. These present life are related with your present code, past life, code or bad karma. Now we are human life because of past life before that moment, the wholesome karma is the cause. Now we are reborn in the human life. For the animal, the beta, for those are before the death moment, because of akusala karma arise. Related they are previous life, the unwholesome. So because of this, they are reborn in the animal beta lives. Now we are human because of supported by the wholesome karma. After Parisandi Chitta, 16 life continuously. Continuously consciousness. Bhavanga Chitta. Okay, now you can see one consciousness, last one consciousness moment. Chitta Khana with the 3 stages. Arising, Upada, standing, Titi, dissolution, Bhanga. Connection followed a fate procedure according to the nature law of consciousness, Chitta Niyama. Thus, the object of the final mental process is one of 3 karma, karma sign or destination sign. Displayed above. This object serves as the object of the next life's process, spirit consciousness, Vitimoda, in the next life. They arise independently of sense to process. The first consciousness of next life, so they are the first consciousness of next life, the Ripa linking consciousness, Paticcanisita. The next life continue consciousness, Bhavanga Chitta. The last consciousness of next life, the deceased consciousness, Chuti Chitta. The deceased consciousness of one life take always that same life karma, karma sign or destination sign as objects. The final mental process of a life has always only 5 impulsions. The evolution does not alone produce the Ripa linking consciousness, but functions as a bridge to cross into the new life. They may be followed by registration consciousness, and there may arise also life continuously consciousness before the deceased consciousness. They may arise for the shorter or long time, even up to the day or week. With the cessation of deceased consciousness, the life faculty is cut off, and there remain only a crop, that mentality. Immediately after the rebirth linking consciousness, the first consciousness of a life follow 16 life continuously consciousness with the same objects. Here, okay, this example for me live, huh? Okay, after that, how to discern more past life, huh? When you are able to discern your immediate past life in this way, and they are able to see the 5 causes in the past life: ignorance, craving, clinging, pollution, formation, and karma. And there are 5 results in the present life: the rebirth in consciousness, patisanichita, mentality, materiality, the system pay, contact, and feeling. You need in the same way to discern progressively back to the second, third, fourth, and as many live back as you can. Should discern parts of future life in the Brahma realms, you will see only 3 sense base, eye, ear, and heart base. In contrast to the 6 sense base that you see in the human and deva realms. Okay, in the past, because of avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, clinging, karma, formation. Here, in present, 5 aggregate are arise. In the same way, in the future also, we need to discern by this way. In future, if we still have the avijja, ignorance, tanha, craving, upadana, clinging, and karma formation, in future also, 5 aggregate will be arise. We need to discern by this way in the future life also. To discern the future, you begin by discerning the present, mentality, materiality, and then look into the future until the time of death in this life. Then either the karma sign, or rebirth sign will appear because of the potency of particular karma you perform in this life. You will then be able to discern the rebirth linking, mentality, materiality, patisani, nama, rupa, that will be produced in the future life. You might discern as many lives into the future as it takes till ignorance cease without remainder. This happens with the attainment of Arahant path, Arahant Dhammaka. That is your own attainment of Arahantship. You should then continue discerning into the future until you see that the 5 aggregate mentality, materiality cease without remainder. That is at the end of Arahanta life, at your own Parinibba. You will thus have seen that with the cessation of ignorance, mentality, materiality cease. You will have seen the complete cessation of phenomena dhamma. There is no future rebirth. Paticca Samuppada, Anuloma and Patiloma. Anuloma means Vijja Pichya Sankhara, Sankhara Pichya Vijnana, Vijnana Pichya Nama Rupa. Patiloma means Vijja Nirodha, Sankhara Nirodho, Sankhara Nirodha, Vijnana Nirodho. That's called Paticca Samuppada, Anuloma, Patiloma. If you practice dependent origination, systematically, you may understand by this way. Discerning in this way, the 5 aggregates of the past, the present, and the future, and also discerning their causal relation, is what we call the faith method taught by Venerable Sariputta. Having completed it, you can now learn what we call the first method, the one taught by the Buddha. The first method of dependent origination, Paticcasamuppada, goes over 3 lives and in forward order. It begins with a cause in the past life, that is ignorance of evolutionary formation. They cause the result in the present life, the resultant consciousness, beginning with the rebirth linking consciousness, mentality, maturity, the systems based contact and feeling. You can see in this chart, they are done the cause in these lives, the cravings, clinging, and existence, which cause the result or rebirth, agents, death, and all forms of suffering in the future lives. So you have tried to find ignorance, avijja, craving, tanha, and upadana, clinging. In the defilements wrong, see how it caused the karma wrong. Karma wrong means karma formation. And how the karma potency of karma wrong in turn cause the 5 aggregate at the conception and in their cause of existence. You see, huh? Paticcasamuppada first method, we need to discern by 3 lives. Vijja Pichya Sankhara, Sankhara Pichya Vijnana. Vijnana Pichya Namarupa, Namarupa Pichya Salayana. Salayana Pichya Paso, Pasa Pichya Vedana. Vedana Pichya Tanha, Tanha Pichya Upadana. Upadana Pichya Bhava. Jati, Jara, Marana. After that again, if you still have the wrong or rebirth samsara, if you still have the ignorant, still have ignorant, this ignorant associated with the formation, here consciousness, mentality, Vijnana Pichya Namarupa, Salayana, Phasa, Vedana. So, if the no have the ignorance of vijja for the arahanta, they may not have the feelings. If they are not the feeling, here the consciousness mental, vijja pichya sankhara, vijnana pichya namarupa, namarupa pichya phasa, phasa pichya vedana. So, in there, if there are no more ignorance again, vijja nirodha, sankhara nirodha. Sankhara nirodha, so vijnana nirodha. Vijnana nirodha, nama rupa nirodha. This is the stages for arahanta. If still have the ignorance, we still have that is associated with the formation, the 5 aggregate may still arise. If no have ignorance, although have the sankhara formation, this formation may not be caused 5 aggregate again in the arahanta stage. Okay, that concludes our brief explanation of how to discern dependent origination according to the 5th and the 1st method. There are many more details that you can learn by practicing with a proper teacher. When you have fully discerned the causal relationship between mentality, maturity of the past, present, and future, you will have complete the 2nd vipassana knowledge, the cause apprehending knowledge, Pichaya Parikaha Jnana. If you already understand theory and practically Namarupa Pichaya Pichaya Parikaha Jnana, this meditator are called Chula Sotapanna, Junior stream winner. A stream winner Sotapanna is a noble person who has enlightened 2 defilements, who has eliminated 2 defilements, Ditthi and Vicikiccha, completely. He will never be reborn in the woeful abode and is destination to enter Nibbana in due courses. Now, the meditator who has attained Namarupa Paricheda Jnana and Vichya Brika Jnana has temporarily eliminated Ditthi and Vicikiccha as described above. So, he received a stream winner, but he is not yet a winner, a stream winner yet. He is called a Chula Sotapanna, meaning a junior stream winner. Chula Sotapanna, he will not be reborn in the Vupu abode in his sequence lives. Okay, this is the benefit of Namarupa Paricheda and Vichya Parikaha Jnana in Vipassana meditation. After understanding Namarupa Paricheda Vichya Parikaha Jnana, you can continue the other Vipassana meditation. You need to contemplate three characteristics. The nature, impermanent nature, suffering nature, non-self natures of mentality and material, their causes. If you contemplate the Vipassana, nature, impermanent, dukkha, suffering, non-self, your Vipassana knowledge will be mature. If your Vipassana knowledge become mature, you may attain Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arahata fruition also. May all you be practiced according to the Buddha teaching, step by step, until to realize Nibbana very soon.
Thank you, Sayadaw, for the Dhamma talk. We are going to have a Q&A session. Sayadaw?
Okay. Only listening may not understand. Need to repeat, understand. Need to repeat to listen again and again. Also need to practice. After that, you may understand by the direct knowledge. Every beginner saying all the information, you may not understand everything. And no problem, that's to listen for the knowledge only first. After that, you learn slowly. Later, you may understand more clearly. We understand all the listener may not same the level. Okay, some are just beginning only, some are already learning about a bit more or like that. The level may not same, although not same. If we are not explained like that, also they may never hear about these clear information or the Buddha teachings. Because of this, although some may not understand in the beginning very well, we need to explain. That is our responsibility. New Dhamma talk, we have responsibility to explain to the listener. Santipoti, they suggest that one day, this about Vipassana meditation, very deep. Everybody may not easily to understand, may not very interested to listen. So they are like that. The Chataka story is more interest to listen. Other day I said that, okay, other Mahathira, other Bhante already teach the Chataka story. So that already enough for listen. Now we are in meditation center. We teach about meditation. So all the information, all the samatha vipassana also they need to know. They need to listen. Although they interest or not, they should have the knowledge and the good knowledge. If they have the knowledge, next time if they have the chance, they can practice. They can practice very details according to the Buddha teachings. You can see even our Buddha, he need to explain all five aggregate to his son Yahula since 7 years old. Always he need to teach, explain little by little. But because of the teachings, because of listening by this way, slowly his knowledge become more mature. When he became the bhikkhu, he also attained the arahantship. In the same way, for our bhikkhu, we have responsibility to explain, to get the information to the listener about how to observe morality, how to develop concentration, and how to understand Western knowledges. Okay, for the meditator, by listening, for the knowledge, you need to understand. You need to listen first. For the practice, according your level, you need to start to observe modality. After that, you need to develop concentration. After that, you need to practice vipassana meditation. You need to go step by step. By listening, also you already got the information. What I should do in future, also you already got the real information. Understand?
Understood.
Okay, huh?
Thank you.
Okay, you no need to worry, huh? No need to worry. Especially if you learn, you may understand, huh?
Yeah, good evening, Sada. Thank you for the complete explanation. It is very deep. I have a question. Maybe the question is for this dependent origination, right? How do we correlate it with Jivaka Sutta? Because in the Sutta mentioned that not everything caused by the karma, but it seems that we need to discern all the way to the past. Then in the Jivaka Sutta mention, the explanation mentioned that there's other reason happening to a being by the Chitta, Kama, Ahara, Chitta, Utu, Kama, and Ahara. But just now through the explanation, it seemed to be mostly emphasizing on the Kama. So how do we correlate it with the Sutta? That's my first question.
Yeah, Kama, Chitta, Utuja, Aharaja. So these are four causes of maturity. In the Rupa meditation, I have already explained about this. So some maturity are related with the Kama. That's called Kamacha Rupa, Kama Bhom maturity. So Kamacha Rupa, Chittaja Rupa, mind Bhom maturity. Utuja Rupa, temperature Bhom maturity. Aharaja Rupa, nutriment Bhom maturity. These are in the Nama Rupa meditation already explained about this. So in these are the present five aggregate in the rebirth moment. These are related with the past karma. To understand this cause and effect, we need to understand this dependent origination. The reason is if we not understand like that, we may have the thought, okay, who create our human existence, okay, who create the animals, okay. These are no one creates. These are created by our karma. To understand this karma and its result, we need to understand this dependent origination. So all the karma we may not know exactly. For example, now, by generally, because we study the Buddha teachings, by generally, okay, all people, if they listen the Dhamma talk, they may understand because of the past life karma, we are reborn in the human lives because of Hosana karma. Generally, only you may understand, but you may not understand clearly by your own direct knowledge which karma is produced to reborn in the human existence. Okay. For example, in present life, you have already accumulated many wholesome or unwholesome. Okay. You may do the dana, charity, sila, morality. Also, you may practice meditation. In the same way, in past life, also say, okay, we have already done wholesome or unwholesome. But before that moment, because of the wholesome karma arise, karma nimitta or kati nimitta, this sign arise. Depend they are wholesome or unwholesome. Okay. For these karma, we need to understand by our direct knowledge to understand the cause of the five present aggregates. So this mind produce materiality, temperature produce materiality, so nutriment produce materiality. That's already mentioned in the Rupa meditation. Okay, So this detailed karma you may not understand. Only the Buddha may understand very detailed. But for the cause of the five aggregate, we need to understand with our own direct knowledge by practicing this dependent origination. Okay, translate first. So now, by generally, if we learn the Buddha teachings, because we have the right view, Dhamma Sakata Samadhi, the right views of the related karma and karma reset. Others are the Buddhists. So for other religion people, they may realize that all the human, the animal, all the things are created by the God. They understand by this way. But for our Buddhism, by generally we understand karma and karma result. But these 5 aggregates are produced by which karma? Okay, we need to know clearly to understand dependent origination. Okay, although we know we are human beings, these human beings are because of causes by the wholesome karma. Which wholesome karma? We are not know exactly if we are not practice dependent origination. Okay, for example, somebody did because of the practice dependent origination. Before practice dependent origination, they need to practice nama and rupa. Okay, this nama and rupa already the rupa meditation. That's already 4 courses: kama, chitta, uddhacca, araja. That already include in the rupa meditation. Nama also same. Some are because of the past life, vijatana, upadana. So some are related with the present cause. Some are related with the past cause. And these are need to understand clearly in this paticca samuppada. After you practice dependent origination only, you understand karma and karma result clearly. Past cause and present cause. So now, because I'm talking, you can hear the sound. When you hear the sound, because of my sound, the sound is the object. Imping your ear doors. Okay? Actually, ear consciousness. Because of imping your consciousness, imping your ear consciousness, you can hear the sound. But although I'm talking, if your ear if no have the hole, you may not hear the sound. Understand? That's a present cause. Okay? Even I'm talking, if you are not paying attention, you may not understand clearly. That's called intention, manasikara. Okay? So object, the basis materiality, okay, the phassa, context, okay, sota, sampasa. Another is akasa, the space, manasikara, intention. That's the presence, the cause of to hear the sound. Understand? To see the object also same. Okay? But the karma is now in your ear door. There are 63 types of materiality. Okay? The how to say, ear translucent, body translucent, and such materiality. Okay? 30 types of materiality. If include Jivita Navaka Rupa, there are 39 types of materiality. These are related with your past life karma. Okay? That's the basis materiality. Understand? These are already need to practice in the Rupa meditation. Understand? When you practice dependent origination, you need to discern all the past and present cause and present result. Cause and effect. So can understand very clearly. Karma, chittaja, uddhacca, araja. Past life cause and present cause. Okay, all detail we need to practice independent origination. Okay, if you understand Nama Rupa and Picca Parikaha, when you discern all the conditions are only cause and effect. Everything are only cause and effect. And present also cause and effect, past also cause and effect. Only Nama and Rupa, only cause and effect. In the samsara, if we discern, there are no have the male, no have the female, only Nama and Rupa. This Nama and Rupa are also related with the cause, cause and effect, present cause and past cause. So you can understand by your own direct knowledge clearly after discerning dependent origination. When you understand place of the Samuppada by your own direct knowledge clearly, and the past also only have Nama, Rupa, cause and effect. Present also only have Nama and Rupa, cause and effect. Future only also only have Nama, Rupa, cause and effect. Only cause and effect. That is called top overcoming purification. Kankha Vitarana Visuddhi. After discerning dependent origination. Okay,
Thank you, Sayadaw. Actually, I have another question, but maybe for Sister Maytan first. It's okay for Sister Maytan first. So I can digest first your explanation a bit. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brother Ditadama. Sister Maytan, okay.
ဆရာတော်ဖေတပည့်တော်မပါဗျာပါဗျာဒီအေးပါဗျာတမလိုပဲရှောက်ခွင့်ပြုပါဗျာ
ဟုတ်ပြီ
အစဉ်နာမသိဘူးဗျာဆရာတော်ဖေတရားကိုနာရတဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်တပည့်တော်အများကြီးဗီဒီယိုတပည့်တော်အများကြီးဟိုစားဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဗျာဘူးအများကြီးဘူးတုတတွေရပါတယ်ဗျာအခုတပည့်တော်လည်းဟိုစားလေအဘိဓမ္မာကိုအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုသင်နေတယ်ဗျာတပည့်တော့အသက်စဉ်တနင်္ဂနွေနေ့မနက်9 နာရီဗျာအဲ့ဒါလေးနဲ့ဆရာတော်ဘုရားသင်ပြီးအခုပြောတဲ့တရားနဲ့ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော်တော်လေးပြည့်စုံသွားနာယူရပါတယ်ဗျာဆိုတော့
ကောင်းပါကောင်းပါနော်
ရပါတယ်ဗျာ
စပီလေးလာကြတယ်အများရှိပါသေးတယ်နော်
မဗျာ
လက်တွေ့ကိုယ်တိုင်အောင်ထုတ်နိုင်အောင်လဲစက်ကြိုးစားပေါ့နော်
မဗျာဗျာဘယ်တော့မှမတူကြပါဘူး
ဟုတ်ပါတယ်
ဗျာ
Okay, now he just inform appreciation of this Dhamma talk. She have already studied about Abhidhamma. After she listened this meditation explanation, she understand more clearly because she already have the basis understanding, knowledge in Abhidhamma. Okay, if already have foundation of Abhidhamma, they may more clear understand of my explanation. Because of this, you no need to worry if you are not understand clearly. Okay, if you already know what is samatha, what is the vipassana, that already okay for the beginner.
This person was to us when some persons, when a yogi can see his past life or his past life, is he considered as an area or only the ability of the mind?
Sorry, your voice is not very clear.
When someone can see their past life, is he or he considered as area or just the ability of the mind? I think he entered late just now.
Okay, that's a Chaitesara Jnana. Some people, not people, even some animals, they memorize to their past lives. You can see in the Jataka story, Mataka Pada Jataka. There one ghost. He memorized 500 lives in past. Okay. So how can say this animal area or not? Can we say this animal memorize 500 lives? Whether he is area or not? These are because of Chaitesara Jnana. They may be memorized in their past life. Here, if you practice dependent origination also, by wisdom knowledges, you may understand in your past life. In this stage are only the beginning of vipassana knowledge only, not yet attain the fruition. Not yet attain fruition. Still need to practice vipassana. Still need to contemplate the vipassana. So after that only, after their vipassana knowledge become mature only, they may attain the fruition. They may become the noble person. Only memorize the past life cannot say exactly whether they are real or not. There are many ways to understand in the past life. Some people, if they already attain the psychic power, especially Bobinivasa Nosati Vijnana, by this knowledge also, they can see the past life. That is not Ariya. Huh? No, you reach Ariya. Huh? Ariya is after you practice Vipassana. The Vipassana knowledge become mature at the stage only. You may attain the noble person. Huh?
Bante, okay, one more participant raising hand. Brother Johan Effendi, please.
That will be last question, I think.
Yes,
huh?
last question. Yeah, the question just now was from Brother Henki from the Telegram. Sorry, I forgot to mention his name.
Okay, thank you, John Effendi. Seattle, this brother is asking, let's say we practice Anapanasati until we reach certain level like jhana, can we directly go to the Patita Samuppada practice without have to practice the Nama Rupa session?
So all these knowledge are related to each other. Huh? At the beginning, I already explained. These Nama Rupa meditation and dependent origination are related. Huh? If you are not yet understand Nama and Rupa, internally and externally, you may know easily to practice dependent origination. Huh? If you are not yet the concentration also to understand clearly object or Nama and Rupa also be difficult. Because of these Sila, Samadhi and Panya are related. Huh? If no modality also, we know easily to develop the concentration. Huh? These concentration are related with the modality. The wisdom knowledge are also related with the concentration. Wisdom knowledge also dependent origination and Nama Rupa also related to each other. Huh? For example, when you study in the school, you cannot go to the university. Huh? So for the normal people, you need to go primary, secondary, high school, after the university to get the degree. In the same way, the meditation also need to go step by step. You cannot jump. In the Ratha Vinita Sutta also already explained. You can see I already explained this dependent origination. Consists of 12 factors. Vajjatana, Upadana, Karma formation. So there's a Vajja. This Vajja also cannot arise alone, associated with the mental factors. Chitasika, ignorance altogether 20 mental factors in the important jhana. So if you are not understand Nama and Rupa clearly, how can understand how many mental factors in the Vajjatana, Upadana? How many mental factors or the karma formation? You may not understand clearly. Because of this, we need to practice very detailed Nama and Rupa internally and externally. This dependent origination also more related with external Nama and Rupa. Because of this, Buddha also in the Mahasivana Sutta explained, Iti Ijjatanwa Kayika Nupasivirati, Betawa Kayika Nupasivirati, internally, externally. By efficacy to discern by this way. Okay, now I will make conclusion by reciting Jaya Mangala Gatha. Jayando Bodhiya Mule Sajjana Nandi Wadano Ewa Mewa Jayo Hodu Jayasu Jaya Mangale Sajjana Sagiwe Memyodu I Nandi Wadano Sinalongo Shimbyum Zeda Dayamyati Oriya Bodhi Be Mule Nida Quem Jadi Barajita Valentanai Jayando Mangavago Omyali Nagado Ewa Mewa Ewan Tata Pamata Yutu Adu Dedo Magan on Sidi Myodago Dakem Payashingo Jilenyo nu shiu banja den dhyana brita bonduro gondo a Jayo jade khen khen piesong ja jin di hodu mocha madwe phit pa ve I Jaya mangale beyan shong kwa aung yin shin ga mingala yaw Te dong ma gan aung sidi myo dago dakem paya shin go Jilenyo nu shiu banja den dhyana brita bonduro gondo a Jaya su jade dago nizin do yue Kaung yo pisi Omyen nain ja vazi gondati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Jali. Sayadaw, we would like Sayadaw to please guide us to share merits.
Okay, we do wish Sankonda share merit all repeat after me. Etawada cha amehi
Etawata cha amehi
sambadam punya sambadam
sambatang punya sampadang
sabbe dewa numodandu
sabe dewa anumodantu
sabbe buddha numodandu
sabe buta anumodantu
sabbe satta numodandu
sabe sata anumodantu
sabba sampati siddhiyang
sabba sampati sidia
idhamme nyatinang hotu
idang menyatinang hotu
sukhita hontu nyatayo
sukita hontu nyatayo
idhamme nyatinang hotu
idang menyatinang hotu
sukhita hontu nyatayo
sukita hontu nyatayo
idhamme nyatinang hotu
idang menyatinang hotu
sukhita hontu nyatayo
sukita hontu nyatayo
idhamme punyang
idang me punya
asawakayang
sawakaya
mahang hotu
wahang hotu
idhamme punyang
idang me punya
nibbanasa
nibanasa
pacayo
pacayo
hotu
hotu
mama punya bagang
mama punya bagang
sabba satanang
sabasatanang
pajemi
bajemi
desabbe
tesabe
me samang
mesamang
punya bagang
punya bagang
labandu
labantu sadu
sadhu sadhu sadhu
Buddha
Buddha sasanang chiran daittatu Buddha sasanang chiran daittatu Buddha sasanang chiran daittatu Sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Thank you, Sayadaw, for the Dhamma talk. The Dhamma talk today has ended. If Sayadaw would like to rest, Sayadaw is welcome to leave the meeting. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Sadhu sadhu sukhi.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.